All right, it appears as if the Indiana Fever are taking some notice to things that they need to do in order to secure the team's future and build around Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, as they have clearly stopped promoting Kelsey Mitchell with free agency looming, with her $1.4 million max that she is going to be looking for looming. And the Indiana Fever appear to be pivoting away from Kelsey Mitchell. And this could be the best thing, I believe, for the team as a whole going.
The Indiana Fever have been posting everybody. Caitlin Clark, front and center. Aaliyah Boston, featured. Lexi Hull, in the mix. Even the full roster is showing up across St. Patrick's Day promos, season opener hype, and workout clips. But there's one name that keeps getting left out. And at this point, it's getting hard to call it an accident. Kelsey Mitchell. The longer this goes on, the louder the question becomes. Are the Fever quietly moving on from one of their biggest stars, or setting themselves up for a mistake they'll regret? Because if this is intentional, it says everything. And if it's not, then why does it feel like it is? What do you think? Is this the right move, or a huge misstep waiting to happen?
Has been talking. The Indiana Fever have been doing a lot of promotions and a lot of posting, okay? And they have posted everyone. They have promoted everyone as of late, except...
Let's just call it what it is. When a team stops putting you in promotional content, that's not an oversight, it's a message. Teams have full social media staffs, marketing departments, and detailed content calendars. Nothing gets posted by accident. So when the Indiana Fever keep dropping promo after promo and one specific player is nowhere to be found, that tells a story. And right now, that story is being written without Kelsey Mitchell. The Fever are in full rollout mode heading into 2026. We've seen Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston working out together. We've seen them headline the season opener promo. The St. Patrick's Day campaign, Clark, Boston, and others front and center. Separate posts. Same faces, same spotlight. They've featured Lexi Hull. They've highlighted role players, names casual fans might not even recognize yet. But Mitchell, nowhere. And that's what makes this feel intentional. We're talking about a player who holds the franchise's single-season scoring record, a 2025 All-WNBA first-team selection, a proven bucket-getter who's been one of the most consistent offensive weapons on this roster. You don't just forget a player like that. So the real question isn't if this means something, it's what it means. Because when the spotlight shifts this clearly, it usually signals a bigger move coming, and not everyone is part of the future.
What's up? Let's take a look. We got the GOAT back. The clock is ticking down. We gonna be kicking and taking names. AB. We got the schedule showing. It's time, bruh. It's time. So we got Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston working out. They are clearly promoting these two. You don't see anything Kelsey Mitchell. All right, you got Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston. Okay, now this is a promo that the Indiana Fever did. Now, people are asking the question, well, where is Kelsey Mitchell?
That's not an accident. That's a message. Now, some people will say this is reading too much into social media, and fair enough. Teams don't make trades through Instagram graphics. But in today's game, promotional content is part of the business. It tells you who a franchise is building around. It shows you who they're selling to the fans. And right now, the Indiana Fever are selling a future with two names at the center, Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston. So how did we get here with Kelsey Mitchell? Because this didn't come out of nowhere. Last season, the chemistry in Indiana felt off. There were whispers, sometimes louder than whispers, about tension surrounding Clark. The locker room dynamic was being questioned publicly. No one pointed fingers directly, but the energy was hard to ignore. And fans noticed everything. They noticed who celebrated who. They noticed the body language. They noticed the moments that didn't quite feel like a unified team. Mitchell wasn't always seen as the most vocal supporter during Clark's biggest moments, and whether that's fair or not, perception matters. On social media, perception becomes reality. And clearly, the front office has been paying attention too. Now add the financial layer, and this is where it gets serious. With the new WNBA CBA pushing the salary cap towards $7 million, teams have more flexibility, but not unlimited freedom. Indiana is staring at a complicated situation. 3 players eligible for max or supermax level money. Clark, Boston, Mitchell. All deserving. All expensive. Mitchell's case is strong. All WNBA first team, franchise scoring records, elite production. On numbers alone, she's worth every dollar. But this isn't just about numbers anymore. It's about fit. It's about chemistry. It's about direction. Boston is a no-brainer max player, young, dominant, and a cornerstone. Clark is the face of the league, the engine behind the Fever's surge in attention, ticket sales, and relevance. You build around that. Which means the math starts to break. 3 max-level players, 1 timeline, 1 locker room. Something has to give. And when you stack everything together, the subtle tension, the financial pressure, and now the promotional silence, it starts to paint a very clear picture. The Fever are moving on from Kelsey Mitchell. They just haven't said it out loud yet. So now the real question becomes, what do you do next? Because there are only 2 paths. Option 1, hold on to her, let the situation play out, and risk losing her for nothing in free agency. No assets. No return. Just gone. Option 2, make the move now. Trade her while her value is still high. Get assets. Get picks. Get players who fit the Clark, Boston timeline. Turn a difficult decision into a strategic one. That's the smart play. Because this isn't about whether Mitchell is good, she is. This is about whether she fits what Indiana is building next. And right now, everything, from the money to the messaging, suggests she might not. That's your core. That's what you build around. Adding a 3rd max contract, especially one with lingering questions about locker room chemistry, doesn't strengthen that foundation. It stretches it. It makes the roster thinner, the margins tighter, and the pressure even higher. Now look at the bigger picture. The new WNBA CBA is changing everything. A $7 million team salary cap sounds massive, and it is, but it also resets the market. The average salary jumping to around $600,000? That's long overdue. Players deserve that. But here's the flip side. The era of team-friendly deals is basically over. Stars are going to take what they're worth, because now, what they're worth actually means something. So there's no discount coming. Not from Kelsey Mitchell. Not from Aaliyah Boston. And eventually, not from Caitlin Clark either. And that forces the Indiana Fever to think ahead. Because you don't just accidentally stop featuring a player in your marketing if you plan to keep her long-term. You don't phase someone out of every major promo unless you already know where things are headed. That promotional blackout, that's the tell. Everything else, the rumors, the speculation, that's noise until a move is official. But this is the front office communicating without saying a word. They can't announce a trade yet, so they're preparing the audience for one. And honestly, a lot of fans saw this coming. Last season, the tension around Clark wasn't invisible. The reactions, the energy, the moments that didn't quite feel aligned, people picked up on it. And when you're building around a generational centerpiece, culture matters just as much as talent. So if Indiana is prioritizing chemistry and financial flexibility, that's not dysfunction. That's strategy. They went from lottery irrelevance to the most talked-about team in women's basketball almost overnight. That doesn't happen by accident. And protecting that momentum, protecting the investment in Clark and Boston, is exactly what smart franchises do. Which brings this all together. If the plan is to move Mitchell, gain assets, and create the cap space needed for Clark's eventual supermax in 2027, then Indiana isn't falling behind. They're getting ahead of it. Now the only question left is timing. When does the trade happen? What do they get back? And where does Mitchell land? Because make no mistake, She has the talent to go somewhere else, put up numbers, and make people question everything. That happens all the time in this league. But Indiana isn't thinking about that right now. They're thinking about what they're building. And what they're building has Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston written all over it. Literally. Every promo. Every post. Every piece of content. And Kelsey Mitchell. She's not in any of it. That's your answer. Not a press release. Not a headline. Just a very loud silence.